Hello and welcome to pitivi. I use v97.1 alpha. I recommend you run it in a terminal so you can quickly see error messages and close it with ctrl+C and restart it with arrow key up and enter in case it does freeze or crash. Make sure to save your project in the beginning, otherwise you lose everything. But let's get started with the tutorial. We can add video clips by dragging them into the media library. The first video you add will be used to set the project settings. So make sure it has the right settings and double check that you have the right resolution and the right frame rate. And from there we can drag them to the timeline and we can drag them along the timeline. Remember to hit that save button now and then. We have our intro, so let's add another clip and also add it to the timeline. We can split clips at the playhead using the S key on the keyboard or using the split clips button. We can delete clips by clicking on them and hitting the delete key or by using the delete button. Now let's just move the clips next to each other. They will snap to each other. We can zoom in a little to make sure they are close to each other by using Ctrl and the mouse wheel. And now I want to add another video clip. And I want it to be displayed on top of the other clips. So I'm going to drag it to the timeline, just to the top of it. And when we see this blue highlight at the top, we can release it and it will create a new video layer. Now when we click it, we can resize it by the handles seen in the preview window at the top right. And we can position it by dragging it from the center. Next, I would like the overlay clip to be black and white, so let's go to the effects library, let's search for black and let's drag the BWOR effect on that clip. And now it is black and white. I also would like to mute the main video clip, so I'm gonna select it and I'm gonna use an audio effect, so search for show audio effects and search for volume. Just drag it onto the track and you can use the mute button to disable it. Alternatively, you can also just remove this effect and use the split or ungroup clips button. And now you can select the audio track and delete it with the delete key on the keyboard. I want to cut out a piece of the main video, so I'm going to split it. And I'm going to split it again. And I will delete the middle part. I'm going to move the parts together. And now let us zoom in. And now we're going to drag the two parts on top of each other so that they create a transition. So now it will slowly fade from one scene to the other. At the end of this track, I would like to fade to black. So we're going to zoom in again, we're going to select the last clip, and we're going to click on this yellow line to create a keyframe. And then very carefully, we're going to drag the right one down all the way to the bottom. And this now is a transition to black. Now I want to add some music since I removed the main video clip's audio. We'll just drag in an audio file. And now we can drag it either to the audio part of the layer 1 or the second layer, or we can drag it even further down and it will create a new audio layer. Of course, we can then reposition it again. We can also resize it by dragging the side, and we're going to make it fade out as well. So we're going to again click on the yellow bar and drag the right side to the bottom. What I also want to do is to add an watermark or an overlay icon or logo. So I just drag in an image. It has to be a PNG, so you have transparency. And I just drag it to the top layer. Then I have to zoom in and resize it. And I think resizing only works to the right, so you have to extend it on the right side to the right direction. Just like with the video clip before, you can resize it and reposition it. So we can move it around and we can actually make it bigger than it was before. You can also just add other image files to create slideshows and such. And just like with videos, you can also drag them on top of each other to create crossfades. Finally, all we have to do is render the project, so press the render button, pick a folder, choose a name, and I haven't tested OGG Theora yet. I had issues using MP4, so for now I recommend using WebM. Make sure the resolution is alright. If it's not, check the project settings. Also the frame rate. You can also change some advanced codec settings if you want. You can also completely disable the audio. And when you're done, just press render. And after a while, your video file will be ready. I hope this helps. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. Also take a look at my PTV titles tutorial and my demo video of PTV video effects. Have fun editing. Ciao!